How could Stoicism's lessons help us to overcome our insecurity? This is especially relevant in our modern era, when social media can make us feel constantly judged and compared to others. But what if we could learn to be more confident, more calm, and more at peace with ourselves today, where we all seem to be in a never-ending race? Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on what really counts and to develop an inner strength that will enable us to boldly and calmly meet any obstacle. It presents a new and strong viewpoint. 8 keys based on Stoicism will help you quit being insecure. Each key will come from a thorough explanation and a quotation from a Stoic philosopher who connects with the lesson we're covering in this video. This video is for you if you have ever felt uneasy or battled with self-image in this digital era, because we will be covering ideas like ataraxia, the paradox of control, and the need of living according to our beliefs. Prepare yourself for a transforming trip that will enable you to build inner stability free from depending on likes or preferences. Followers but of a deep understanding and acceptance of yourself. Before continuing, I would appreciate it if you would please like this video so that this video can reach many more people. If you don't want to miss any of my videos, subscribe and activate the bell. 1. The dichotomy of control. The first Stoic key to stop being insecure is to understand and apply the dichotomy of control. This is one of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism and refers to distinguishing between what is under our control and what is not. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, explained it very clearly of things. Some depend on us and some do not depend on us. Now I will provide you with a phrase from a Stoic philosopher. It is better to do it righteous than the approval of others. Marcus Aurelius. Meditations. How does the dichotomy of control with insecurity? Insecurity often arises when we worry about factors that are out of our control, such as the opinion of others or uncertain outcomes. By focusing solely on what you can control, you reduce the anxiety and stress associated with these worries. For example, in a job interview, instead of stressing about whether or not you will be hired, which you cannot control, focus on showing up as best as possible. Answer honestly and demonstrate your skills, which you can control. In addition, understanding this dichotomy helps you accept the results, whatever they may be, with serenity. You know that you have done everything in your power and that the rest is part of the unpredictable nature of life. This acceptance gives you a strong inner stability that doesn't waver with outside fluctuations. Once you start to feel uncertain, ask yourself, "This is within my control." If the response is don't let go and concentrate on what you can influence, over time this technique will become second nature, greatly lowering your degrees of uneasiness and enabling you to live more peacefully and confidently. 2. Ataraxia. The second Stoic key to stop being insecure is to cultivate ataraxia. Ataraxia, it is a Greek term that translates as imperturbability or tranquility of the soul. For the Stoics, achieving ataraxia meant maintaining calm and serenity regardless of external circumstances. How to practice ataraxia? Practicing ataraxia involves developing a mindset in which we do not allow external events to disturb us. This does not mean being indifferent or insensitive, but rather learning to accept what happens without overreacting. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, expressed it in the following way: "We are offended when we suffer a small injury. A true sage does not feel the blow of a larger wound, because he is always armed with unwavering firmness." Letters Alcilio Cartanu. Now I will provide you with a quote from a Stoic philosopher. "The mind that is free of passions is a citadel. Man has no stronger fortress in which he can take refuge and remain impregnable forever." Marco Aurelio. Meditations. How it helps you this with insecurity. Insecurity often arises when we let ourselves be carried away by our emotions and allow external events to affect us deeply. For example, receiving a negative review on a social network can make us feel bad or doubt ourselves. Practicing ataraxia helps us to take a calm posture and not get carried away by these negative emotions. By adopting an ataraxia mentality, we can face criticism and external judgments with equanimity, instead of reacting impulsively or feeling hurt. We can objectively assess the situation and decide how to respond constructively. This approach reduces anxiety and insecurity, allowing us to maintain our tranquility and confidence. Even in adverse situations, I will give you some practical exercises. 1. Daily meditation. Dedicate a few minutes each day to meditation. To calm your mind and focus on the present, focus on your breath and let go of thoughts that may arise. especially those related to worries or insecurities. 2. Stoic reflection. At the end of the day, reflect on the situations that disturbed you. Ask yourself if those situations were within your control and how you could have responded more calmly. This will help you develop greater awareness and self-control over time. 3. Conscious response. The next time you are faced with a situation that provokes you insecurity, pause, take a deep breath, and remember the importance of ataraxia. Consciously decide how you want to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Developing ataraxia doesn't happen overnight, but with constant practice, you'll begin to notice a decrease in your levels of security and an increase in your ability to stay calm in the face of adversity. 3. Death as a counselor. The third Stoic key to ceasing to be unsafe is to reflect on death, a concept known in Stoicism as memento mori, which means remember that you will die. It may seem bleak, but it is a powerful tool for living a fuller and safer life. Why? Reflecting on death. Reflecting on death helps us put things into perspective and value what really matters. By recognizing that our life is finite, we can free ourselves from trivial worries and focus. One of the most influential Stoic emperors and thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, essentially declared, "Don't act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death is upon you. As long as you live, as long as you can, be good." Meditations. Book 4. I will provide you with a quote from a Stoic philosopher. Think of death as someone who is looking at you and let that guide you in every action and thought. Epictetus speeches. How it helps you this with insecurity. Insecurity often comes from fear of others' judgment, failure, and uncertainty of the future. By keeping the idea of death present, these fears lose strength. We realize that many of our daily worries are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. For example, if you fear public speaking because you might be wrong, remember that life is short and that every opportunity is unique. Can give you the courage to do it anyway. Knowing that there is no time to waste on insecurities and fears, it drives us to live more authentically and to make decisions with courage. I will give you some practical exercises. 1. Meditation. Memento mori. Spend a few minutes a day reflecting on your mortality. Imagine how you would like to be remembered and what legacy you want to leave. This practice will help you focus on what really matters and how you can act accordingly. 2. Priority assessment. Make a list of your current concerns. Ask yourself which of them will be relevant in a year, 5 years, or at the end of your life. This assessment will allow you to distinguish between what deserves your attention and what doesn't. 3. Live with purpose. Every day, take at least one action that is aligned with your deepest values, and your purpose in life may be something small such as expressing gratitude or something meaningful such as working on a project that you are passionate about. By reflecting on death, you find a source of motivation to overcome insecurity and live more courageously and authentically. Remember that every moment is valuable and that there is no time to waste on unnecessary doubts and fears. For the power of the present. The fourth Stoic key to stop being insecure is to live in the present. The Stoics, they believe that much of our anxiety and insecurity comes from worrying about the future or lamenting the past. Marcus Aurelius advised to perform every act of your life as if it were the last. Meditations. Book 2. What it means to live in the present. Living in the present means being fully aware of and committed to the present moment, rather than wasting time and energy worrying about what has already happened or what might happen. This relates to the concept of mindfulness that is also found in modern practices such as meditation. I will provide you with a quote from a Stoic philosopher. True happiness is in enjoying the present without the dependent anxiety of the future. Seek. Letters to Lucilius. How it helps you this with insecurity. Insecurity often arises from thoughts about the future and if I fail, what they will think of me. By focusing on the present, you reduce these worries and focus on what you can do here and now. This allows you to act more confidently and effectively. For example, in an important presentation, instead of worrying about the end result or how you will be judged, you can focus on doing your best in each moment. This not only improves your performance but also reduces stress and anxiety. I will give you some practical exercises. 1. Mindful practice. Mindfulness daily. You can do this through meditation or simply by paying mindfulness to your daily activities, such as eating or walking. 2. Minds. Interrupt those thoughts and redirect your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I do right now? 3. Connection with the present. Set small reminders throughout the day to stop and connect with the present. This can be a sound, an alarm on your phone, or simply a habit like taking deep breaths. By living in the present, you reduce the influence of worries and fears that feed insecurity. You become more aware of your actions and decisions. which allows you to act with more confidence and tranquility. 5. Acceptance of change. The fifth Stoic key to stop being insecure is the acceptance of change. The Stoics, they recognize that change is an inevitable part of life and that resisting it only causes suffering. Rather than fighting the constant flow of change, they encouraged us to embrace it and adapt flexibly. What acceptance of change entails. Accepting change means recognizing that everything in life is transitory and that our circumstances can change at any time. This frees us from excessive attachment to material things, or to rigid expectations about how things should be. Marcus Aurelius reminded us everything is ephemeral, both what is remembered and what is forgotten. Meditations, Book 4. Now, I will provide you with the phrase of a Stoic philosopher: it is not the burden that weighs you down, but how you carry it. Seneca. Letters to Lucilius. How it helps you. This with insecurity. Insecurity often arises when we cling to the known and fear the unknown. By accepting change as a natural part of life, we become more resilient and adaptable. Instead of resisting with fear and anxiety, we can embrace change as a way to grow and learn. Acceptance helps you to confront an unexpected change in your life, including losing your job or relocating to a new location, rather than regretting what you do. It helps you to approach the matter calmly and deliberately. You have lost your attention to the chances that come with change. One of the useful exercises I'll give you now is practice detachment. Find areas of your life where you are too tied to certain results or a particular way of doing things, then learn to let go of that connection and expose yourself to other opportunities. 2. Mental flexibility. Develop a flexible attitude that lets you fit the new conditions instead of fighting obstacles. Ask yourself, how can you seize 3 times of growth and learning chances from them? Be grateful for change. Instead of seeing change as a practical threat, see it as a blessing in disguise. Be grateful for the lessons it teaches you and the opportunities it brings with it. By accepting change as a natural part of life, you become more confident in yourself and your ability to face any challenges that arise. You free yourself from fear of the future and you open yourself up to a world of limitless possibilities. 6. To live according to nature. The sixth Stoic key to stop being insecure is to live according to nature. For the Stoics, to live according to nature means to align with our true essence and the rational principles of the universe, means to understand our place in the world and act in harmony with our human nature. How to live according to the nature. Living in accordance with nature implies recognizing that we are rational and social beings. Our true nature invites us to use our reason to guide our decisions and to live in community with others, practicing virtue and contributing to the common welfare. Epictetus reminds us of happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of a principle. Some things are within our control and others are not. Now I will provide you a quote from a Stoic philosopher. The goal of life is to live according to nature, which is to live in harmony with the order and reason of the cosmos. How it helps you. This with insecurity. Insecurity often arises when we feel disconnected from ourselves and others, try to live according to external expectations, or pursue goals that do not align with our true nature. By living according to nature, we focus on what really matters and we feel more authentic and connected. For example, instead of seeking validation through material achievements or the approval of others, we focus on cultivating virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. This gives us a solid foundation of self-respect and confidence that does not depend on external factors. Now I will provide you with some practical exercises. 1. Self-knowledge. Spend time getting to know yourself. Reflect on your values, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Ask yourself what really matters to you and what makes you feel fulfilled. 2. Acts of virtue. Practice virtue in your daily life. Do things that reflect your values and principles. This can be as simple as being honest in a difficult situation, helping someone without expecting anything in return, or being fair in your decisions. 3. Connection with nature. Spend time in nature to remember your place in the world and the interconnectedness of all things. This can help you feel more at peace and aligned with the universe. By living according to nature, you build a life that is consistent with your principles and values. This reduces insecurity, because you know you are being true to yourself and acting in harmony with the natural order of the world. 7. The importance of virtue. The seventh Stoic key to stop being insecure is to focus on virtue. For the Stoics, virtue is the only true good and the key to a full and happy life. The main virtues are wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By cultivating these virtues, we strengthen our character and become more self-confident. What does it mean to focus in virtue? Focusing on virtue means acting in accordance with sound ethical principles and seeking excellence in everything we do. Epictetus taught that we must be true to our values and act with integrity, regardless of external circumstances. Virtue consists of a will that is in accordance with nature. Now I will provide you with a quote from a Stoic philosopher. Only a life lived in virtue can be a quiet life and happy. Seneca letters Alcilio how it helps you this with insecurity. Insecurity often comes from uncertainty about our own abilities and values. By focusing on virtue, we cultivate a solid foundation of self-respect and trust. We know no matter what is happening around us, we are acting correctly and honestly. For example, if you are facing a situation in which you must make a difficult decision, focusing on virtue will help you to choose the right thing instead of the convenient. By acting justly and courageously, we strengthen our self-esteem and feel more confident in our actions. Now I will provide you with some practical exercises. 1. Values. Make a list of your core values and the virtues you want to cultivate. Write them in a visible place so that you can remember them daily. 2. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself if you have acted according to your values and virtues. If you find areas for improvement, plan how you can do better next time. 3. Acts of virtue each day. Make a conscious effort to practice at least one virtue. This can be helping someone in need, justice, facing a fear, courage, learning something new, wisdom, or controlling an impulse, moderation. By focusing on virtue, you build an identity based on solid principles, which reduces the insecurity and increases your confidence. You feel more in control of your life and more confident in your decisions because you know that they are aligned with what is right and good. 8. The importance of self-mastery. The 8th Stoic key to stop being insecure is to cultivate self-mastery. Self-mastery refers to the ability to control our emotions, impulses, and desires, to act deliberately and consciously. The Stoics believed that self-mastery was essential to attain inner tranquility and virtue. What self-mastery entails? Self-mastery involves the ability to observe one's own emotional reactions and behaviors and make conscious decisions about how to respond. This requires constant practice and self-awareness. Sec. Advised. Learn to discard the part that disappoints you and focus on what you can control. Auxilio cards. How does this help you with insecurity? For example, if you find yourself feeling jealousy or envy toward others, self-control allows you to acknowledge those feelings and choose to respond more constructively. Instead of being swayed by envy, you can practice gratitude and appreciation for what you have. Now I'll provide you with some practical exercises. 1. Self-observation. Spend time each day observing your own emotional reactions and behaviors. Ask yourself what triggered those feelings. Whether it's eating, exercise, impulsive spending, or anything else, choose one area of your life where you would like better self-control. Then, make specific objectives and try to create habits that will enable you to attain those goals. Susceptible to distractions and automatic reactions. By developing self-mastery, you free yourself from the control of negative emotions and open yourself to a life of more tranquility and balance. You become more confident in yourself and your abilities to handle any situation that arises.